I won.
The nation's total fertility rate, the average number of children a woman bears in her lifetime, came to a record low of 0.7 in the third quarter, with the number of newborns falling by the most in about 3 years in September.
우리나라에서 가임여성 1명이 평생 낳을 것으로 예상되는 아이 수를 가리키는 합계출산율이 올 3분기에 0.7명이라는 역대 최저 수준을 기록했습니다. 출생아 수도 9월 기준으로 3년 만에 가장 큰 폭으로 감소했습니다. Tell us more, Ray.
So the total fertility rate, as we mentioned, came to a record low of 0.7 in the third quarter, and this is down 0.1% from percentage points from a year earlier. And this is obviously much lower than the replacement level of 2.1, which would keep Korea's population stable at 51 million. That's according to Statistics Korea.
인구를 스테이블하게 유지하기 위해서는 합계 출산율이 2.1 돼야 된다고 하셨나요? 2.1 did you say?
That's right. That's the replacement level.
Yeah.
So it's quite a lot lower than that.
네, 근데 실제로는 합계 출산율이 2.1보다 훨씬 낮은 0.7로 기록이 됐습니다. 이제 이번 올해 3분기가 그렇고요. 역대 최저 수준이에요. Well, we've been hearing that less and less women are having children, and this is evident now in the data.
Yeah, it sure is. So the other part of the headline talks about what happened just in September alone. So just over 18,000 babies were born in the month of September in Korea. That's down 14.6% compared to September of last year. And that's the sharpest year-over-year fall since November 2020.
아, 그래요. 9월 달에 또 새로 태어난 아기들도 3년 만에 가장 큰 폭으로 감소한 14.6% 줄어든 수치였다고 합니다. 18,000, just over 18,700. Yeah,
18,707 to be exact.
I see. Let's have a look at this expression here. The number of children a woman bears in her lifetime.
Right, so bear as a verb has several meanings. In this case, it means to give birth, to produce a baby.
Yeah.
Right? You bear a baby, you have a baby. So other things, like, so for example, trees can bear fruit or bear flowers.
Right.
Bonds, savings bonds, bear interest. So we can use it that way as well. They produce interest. Now, it can also be used to talk about responsibility. You can bear responsibility for something, like, you bear responsibility for your children or for your job. You can also, sometimes you might be told you need to bear the cost of something. You need to pay for that thing. So there's lots of ways we can use it.
As a verb.
Yes,
Yeah.
lots of ways. And the other big one is to endure something or to really tolerate something difficult. You might hear people say, oh, I just can't bear it anymore. I can't bear this, whatever that tough situation is.
Exactly.
And there's the old phrase, to grin and bear it, if you're going to have to deal with a difficult situation, but there's no way out of it. Someone might say to you, okay, you need to just grin and bear it. Means smile and pretend like everything's okay and just accept the difficult situation.
네, grin and bear it. 이거 grin은 미소 짓는 거고요. bear는 참는 겁니다. 그래서 가끔 이런 얘기를 하죠. 아무리 힘들어도 그냥 아무 일 없는 척하고 미소 지으면서 꾹 참어. Grin and bear it. 자, 그때 bear는 여기 헤드라인에 나온 bear랑 좀 다르긴 해요. 그렇지만 둘 다 동사입니다. 자, 동사로서의 bear가 가지고 있는 여러 가지 의미 중에서 여기서 말하는 거는 아이를 낳다라는 뜻이에요. So the number of children a woman bears in her lifetime. 일평생 동안 여성이 낳는 아이의 수를 이렇게 그 레이트로 비율로 얘기를 하죠. 그래서 이번에 0.7이 나온 것인데 그런 bear 말고도 그 책임을 지다, bear responsibility. 그리고 비용을 부담하다, bear the cost of something. 이렇게 쓸 수도 있습니다. 뜻은 굉장히 많아요. And moving on to the next expression, it's falling by the most in 3 years.
Right, the biggest decline.
Yeah.
Very simple, very straightforward.
네, 3년 만에 가장 많이 떨어졌다, 가장 많이 감소했다. falling by the most in 3 years.
And you could also, in other things, you could say it rose by the most. You could also have that, and you could change in 3 years. And when it says in about 3 years, means roughly, not
Yeah.
quite.
That's right.
But you could have that. It rose by the most in 10 years. It rose by the most in a decade. We've seen inflation rise, over the last couple of years, rise more than it has in decades, right? Since like the 80s.
Indeed. 자, about 3 years라고 했으니까 이제 약 3년이 되겠죠. Here's the headline again. The nation's total fertility rate, the average number of children a woman bears in her lifetime, came to a record low of 0.7 in the third quarter, with the number of newborns falling by the most in about 3 years in September.